Guys, it's me, Brendan, here today, and today we are going to be going over what is the Electoral College and how it works and all that. So, let's get started. So, the Electoral College is how in the U.S. we pick who wins the presidential election. Like in other countries, whoever receives the most votes from the popular vote wins the presidential election or whatever. Here in the U.S., we have it where whoever wins the Electoral College wins the election. Well, why do we have it this way? Well, we have it this way for several reasons. Our founding fathers were smart, and they knew that if the election was done by popular vote, the highly populated areas like New York would control the entire vote. So what they set up was a electoral vote system. The U.S. is a larger nation, so we need more areas. There's more. Like, what's good for someone in Wyoming isn't always good for someone in New York, where opposed to, like, England, it's a relatively small area. So it really ultimately doesn't matter. The U.S. is not one single entity, but instead 50 self-governing states. So kind of like what I just said, but each state needs something different. Alright, so how does the Electoral College work? Well, that's a great question. So how many votes does each state get? This is a great place to start. So each state gets the same number of electoral votes as the number of congressmen or representatives it has, plus the 2 senators. So, like in North Dakota, they have 1 representative and 2 senators, so they have a total of 3 electoral votes. Another example would be, I think here in Tennessee we got 7 congressmen, men, and women, plus 2 senators. So we have a total of 11 electoral votes. You'll have to forgive my bad drawing skills with the computer. So yeah, that's how you know how many votes each state gets. Who are electors? Well, electors are high-ranking members of the party who vote for president, who come together to form the Electoral College. So that's what we're talking about, is the Electoral College. And the electors, they are often like congressmen, state legislator, that kind of thing. So then, if that is the case, does this mean my vote doesn't matter? No, when you vote for president, you aren't voting directly for the president. Instead, what you are voting for is you are voting for the electors, who we just talked about, you're voting for the electors we just talked about, who will then vote for president. In most states, they have a winner-takes-all model. There are a couple exceptions, and we'll get to that in a minute. but in most states, whoever wins the popular vote gets all the electoral votes for the state. Sometimes electors don't vote how they, or like population votes. So like in Texas in 2016, Trump won the election, but one voter voted for Ron Paul, and there were several examples of this. So that is what a faithless elector is. This is a map of the Electoral College right here in 2016, and see, this is what I was talking about. One voted for Paul and one voted for Kasich in Texas, and in Washington, 3 voted for Paulwell and 1 voted for Spotted Eagle, and in Hawaii, 1 voted for, I think it was Bernie they voted for, but I'm not 100% sure. It's weird that he's not on there if you want to. But anyway, so these are faithless electors. So this right here is what I was talking about. Maine, and I think maybe it's Nebraska, or maybe, I'm not sure. But I know for a fact in Maine, the Electoral College is split, which in Maine, you have the first congressional district, which is 1 vote. You have the second congressional district, which is 1 vote. And then you have the Senate. That's an S-E. And I should probably avoid doing this. Which is 2 votes, which are at large. So that's how that works up there. Which is why oftentimes on YapMS they have the little box there. So yes, you have a total of 4 in Maine. Well, why do some people want to end the Electoral College? Well, the people who want to end it call it unfair, but most of them are on the left, and they say they want 1 person, 1 vote. And the primary reason for that is because if it was done by popular vote, oftentimes the Republicans would never win. Like in 2016, Clinton won the popular vote. But it is important to keep the Electoral College, to keep it fair. So, summary. We elect electors to vote for president instead of us voting directly for the president, unlike in most countries. It is still important to vote because the electors you vote for will determine who is the next president. Whoever gains a majority in the Electoral College will win the election. So it's currently 270, and it'll probably stay 270, probably forever. But in the past, it's been whoever. And I didn't talk about this, but if somebody does not get a majority in the Electoral College, it goes to the House. I think it's either to the top 2 or 3 candidates. I'm not really sure. I forgot. I should have known that. I think it might be 2, but I'm not really sure. The Electoral College is important to keep the elections fair, as we already talked about. So that way New York and Los Angeles don't control the entire thing. Well, I would like to thank you all for watching, and if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like, leave me a comment down below, and if you want, go ahead and subscribe. It would really help me out. If you want to see more videos like this, once again, leave a comment. And thank you for watching. Make sure to check out one of the videos that is currently on your screen.